Last night, I didn't hear about this, but last night I was doing some live play and chat streaming and me playing some poker. Thank you to all you guys who came out and hung out with me as I did that. But one of our viewers, I love it when I get to find out stuff from our viewers. One of our viewers pointed out that they were starting to read reports. That you remember that Silver and Black project that Sony was going to do in the Spider-Verse, and then it got canned and put on hold? Well, apparently it never fully died. But apparently it's still barely gasping onto life. It's still floating around in development hell. Well, the director, the would-be director of the film, is saying that there's even talk now of maybe a Silver and Black happening, but instead of being a feature film, going straight to Disney Plus.
Wait,
now,
what?
let me get... Yeah, I know. Wait, what? What's going on here? Okay, so here's the thing. This is from the director, the person who's going to be the director. They said this. Speaking to the Hollywood Reporter, the director said that her relationship to the Troubled Project was a much longer story than she could fully discuss. That's a book. But in brief, she explained that the film was so deep back in development hell that it may no longer even be a film. This is where it gets interesting. Things are the status quo on my side. I really love that project, and I do hope it can still happen in some way. I keep going through different thoughts. Prince, I always mispronounce the second part of her last name, Bythewood, said, first, it was going to be the two of them, Silver and Black. Then the decision was made to separate the two and do a standalone. I think they were going to do like Silver Sable as a standalone film. Now there's a thought of, hey, maybe we can put it on Disney Plus as a limited series. But I loved it more as a film with the two of them, so my hope is that one day it can still happen. That comes to us from an interview via Sci-Fi Wire from the Hollywood Reporter. This is fascinating on a couple of levels. First of all, movies that go into development hell are always interesting. It's always kind of an interesting thing when you hear about movies going into development hell and do they ever get made and all that kind of stuff. But think about it, Rob. The ramifications. Now, they're not saying it is going to happen. She just kind of said that as an off the cuff. I mean, it was going to be a movie, and then and even somebody said, let's put it on Disney Plus. Wait a minute, time out. Put the brakes on that for a second. Even the suggestion of putting like a Silver and Black on Disney Plus opens up a whole can of worms of what does that mean and what are the ramifications of that. Look. Once we saw the Venom trailer, Rob, or the Morbius trailer, I should say.
Right.
Once we saw the Morbius trailer and we got Michael Keaton and we see the Spider-Man mural on the wall and suddenly they're dropping hints that maybe there's going to be a bit of crossover and stuff like, who knows, maybe it was a misdirect, maybe it was actually concrete, whatever. We're going to find out soon enough. We know that Kevin Feige is very, very protective of his universe and his characters and the stuff that he's doing. Even the suggestion that a Silver and Black, and who knows if this ever happens, but even the suggestion that a Silver and Black project could end up on Disney Plus, even theoretically, I think kicks the doors open on that whole discussion. Like, whoa, how interconnected is this Sony Spider-Verse and the Marvel MCU supposed to be? Like, is there going to be like little nods to each other? Are we talking about full-blown integration? And again, I don't want to read too much into it. I'm just saying, Rob, that even the fact that they would suggest it raises a whole lot of possibilities and a whole lot of questions. Rob, you hear the director say this. And again, got to remind everybody, she didn't come out and say Sony is making a concerted effort to put Silver and Black on Disney Plus. No. She said, look, there is even somebody mentioned, maybe we could put it on Disney Plus, but still, even the suggestion of it, Rob, you hear about this. What are the first thoughts across your mind?
Well, the ramifications are pretty staggering that that something produced at Sony would just go over to Disney Plus. I mean, the first thought I have is that maybe there's a lot more closeness between the two companies going on than we even knew. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me after seeing Michael Keaton show up in the trailer for Morbius. I honestly, I don't know, John. I mean, if they're really forging those kinds of ties and they have made peace with the fact that they're each making their own movies but there can be that kind of crossover between them and that there's more coordination than we might know. Well, in my mind, I think, well, maybe we'll get better movies, and maybe that. How interesting would it be that you have two different studios working in the same continuity, the same universe? So what one studio is making, but then again, I wonder, well, if that's the case, then why wouldn't one or the other studio? I mean, I guess that they've made peace with the fact that there's a rights agreement that Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, and Marvel's like, well, I guess we have to work within these parameters, which means Disney has to work within in these parameters. And I honestly think, John, what's wrong with that? If they could just, we get double, we as long as one side doesn't screw the pooch and make some terrible movie that where you're like, oh man, that was some Thor Dark World action over there. I mean, we can't allow that to happen again. But if there is that kind of coordination, I think we could end up, it could be pretty cool.
Just a side note, the first time I ever heard the term screw the pooch was Charlton Heston saying it in the Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Cameron film, True Lies, which is my all-time favorite action. Just want to throw that out there. I mean, I agree. I mean, the ramifications of this are huge. And again, we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves. This was not a proclamation that this is happening, blah, blah. I just thought that the very suggestion of it opens up the possibilities that there must be some kind of pre-existing state that would allow somebody to even make that suggestion. So again, I don't want to jump on it too much, but I do think it's rather interesting. Guys, the question is, you hear about this and you hear these comments. What do you think about it? Do you think now it's just a throwaway idea? They just mentioned Disney Plus as yet another distribution possibility. Or do you think that maybe it suggests the possibilities of a larger scale integration? Who knows? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.